rather consistently this week, I had a breakfast routine that was a little bit more dialed in and more filling. I had marinated chicken breast. I was pleased that the chicken establishment would actually facilitate this. Literally, I was able to pre-order through the app, and it was exclusive protein. I could just get the fillet of the chicken. I just plug it in, boom, it's going to be cooked the minute I drive through the drive-through. I don't have to have the judgment that comes with, why aren't you eating bread, bro? I don't need that in my life. I don't need the least bit of resistance. If I have 1 ounce of negativity coming my way, I'll be like, you know what? Fine. Just give me the darn bread. And then by the time I get the bread, might as well just get the fries. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a disaster.
Well, let's be honest. You're still 325 pounds. So if you do the drive-through and you're only ordering meat and they take one look at you, I mean, it's not an absurd question to ask. Like, why are you avoiding the bread? It's obvious you don't on any other occasion, you know? I felt like you left last week sort of in limbo, where you had all the intentions in the world of trying to make things right, but it could have turned out wrong. I didn't get the feeling that you were gung-ho, moving down the right path. 100% effort was in your corner. I just didn't see it, that it was there. So I didn't know what to expect. I figured if we have a down week instead of an up week, then we win. That's what I'm shooting for. So you delivered, dude. You delivered at a level that exceeded my expectations, I must say. You did not hit an all-time low in this endeavor. You almost did. 324.2 2 weeks ago was the low. Then you gained 3.1 pounds last week because of the Super Bowl. Thanks to an extravaganza of sorts where you had the time of your life. And I give you that as a football aficionado. So 3.1 pounds up. I think we probably lucked out on that one.
I was well behaved, relatively.
Very, very much so.
I hate to know how much it went up on a regular year.
Yeah. I think it's a heck of a lot more than 3.1, maybe 6.1.
Yeah.
I'm just being conservative.
No, you're probably right.
2.3 this week down. So you were 0.8 pounds away from your low.
Yeah.
So you recouped the majority of what you gained on that faithful Super Bowl Sunday. And I think that's great news. I think that you recollected yourself to whatever degree was necessary to achieve this. A 2.3 pound weight loss is fantastic. As far as if it could be repeated, like 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 weeks in a row. I mean, I wouldn't hate that. So I like it. I like that number a lot. It's a solid number. It's a strong number. It's above the average. Your best average was 2 pounds a week before things slowed down. You're at 1.1 pounds a week average going back to week 2. So you were up to 2 pounds a week average. And so 2.3 would be even above that. So it's a great week. I need to know, how'd you pull this off? Did you do something that you can identify that you could replicate on a weekly basis for the next year? I mean, is there anything that you could tell me that you did that you can actually hold on to and say that, yeah, like that did make a difference and I want to keep doing that, as opposed to you just lucked into it?
For various reasons, I've kind of taken a step back from work, and in some ways that could be to my detriment. However, I believe that the stress associated with the position as it's been recently has, possibly driven me to the arms of those candy bars. And so I was able with that, and with the introduction of the protein bars that you have put me on to, I actually reduced my intake slightly of the candy bars, and then my weekend was reasonable. It was reasonable. Like, I was judicious again of just enjoying bits and pieces here and there. I didn't overdo any, any fun time. Just fit that in whenever the occasion came. But like in general, stayed locked in, and this was the result, man. I'm pleased with it.
You told me that the candy bar experiment was a success because if you actually replaced some of those Snickers bars, I know some, I may be a little bit going overboard when I say use that term. I don't know. You haven't identified how many of those were replaced. I need to get specifics to see how successful the experiment was. It obviously had some impact. If 2.3 pounds is a strong number, so it's quite possible that this replacement factored into this number. So I want to know how much of those Snickers bars did you push aside in favor of this replacement that we found last week, which you said was going to be at least your goal as of last week was I'll take one Snickers bar on Monday instead of having four. I'll have three and one of these, and then maybe the next day I'll do two Snickers bars and one of these. So replacing one Snickers bar with that. Did you accomplish that?
Yeah, actually, it exceeded your expectation on Monday. I had, if I remember correctly, I had two on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay.
So every one of those days I had two instead of 4, 3, 2. And then, but at the same time, go ahead.
Hold on. You had, instead of 4 Snickers bars on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, and 2 on Wednesday, you had 2, 2, 2?
Yeah.
All day, all 3 days. So 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. And how many of the other bars did you have?
I can't say that was a direct replacement. I can't say it's a direct replacement. I don't know that my mind wants to go there, but at the same time, or I don't know which that's my conscious mind, my unconscious mind. I don't know what, you can classify which mind I'm using with that, but I don't, I can't say it's a replacement yet. I just say that somehow I was able to strategically manage, the appetite. I guess another thing that does bring up rather consistently this week with the flexibility, just backing off of work a little bit. I had a breakfast routine that was a little bit more dialed in and more filling. I had marinated chicken breast, in large quantity to the point where I was well satisfied. I mean, I have to say, like, I was actually full. Like, I didn't want to eat anymore for a while, like literally didn't want
to eat it. I like the sound of that. Yes.
That was taking it to a different level of, like just filling my belly. But I knew that was a part of success in the morning was just, curbing the appetite for a while.
Yeah.
That would generally get me till, close to 11 in the morning where I'm feeling like I need more. And I've already told you before, I think, like, if I get my last meal now at like 4 in the afternoon, I'm pretty content. Like, I'll have like my sugar-free dessert at night just to give myself something. But like, I can generally have my last meal somewhere between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. And that can be anywhere from 80 to 100% protein on a given day. Like, that's not even a hard time for me. Really, the biggest challenge is the middle of the day, any day, whether it's on the weekdays or the weekend, particularly though on the weekdays. So, yeah, that's when the candy bars get consumed. Being out of the house, that portability is a factor. So, I found some of those beef jerky sticks that we talked about, and that has been helpful. But I don't want to live off that all the time, So yeah. Anyway, I filled up with a local a local fast food place has, breakfast sandwiches, and you can get it without the biscuit. And so I just ordered 4 chicken breasts. They were probably not huge, but they're like probably what an average person eats.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm bigger than average, but an average person probably eats one or one and a half of those. So I had, and they have the choice between the breaded fried variety or the grilled variety.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of played with it a little bit, and I landed on doing 3 grilled and 1 fried
Okay.
to fill myself up, but I also gave myself that little bit of satisfaction. I mixed it up where I'd eat like the whole chicken breast that was grilled, one of them all by itself. Then I'd go, mixing bites between the fried and the grilled. I mean, I'm getting to a science here, man.
It is very, this is laboratory
Yeah,
experiment type of
it is.
material.
I'm a lab rat, man. The biggest one you've ever met.
Yes. We're trying to change that.
So yeah, I mean, like that filled me up again to where I wasn't like craving like that candy bar in the earlier part of the day, like pre-noon.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think helped me with the consumption overall. Like on Monday, I was just like, yeah, I want these, so I'll have them now. But I wasn't needing them like before noon even, so that helped me keep the number down. And then if I hit my daily allotment, then now you're down to the protein bars, bro. Like just suck it up, dude. You already had 2 candy bars, so toughen up, Buttercup. Let's go. And it worked. I mean, I guess I'm very happy with how the number turned out this week.
You told me allotment. So are we, have we officially changed the number of Snickers candy bars that you've allotted yourself on a weekday from the 4-3-2 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday approach to 2 maximum, and then fill out the rest with the.
I think I'm ready to say that on a weekday. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take away. I'm not going to take away anything from my weekends yet, as far as like, something happens, I want to have, discretion. But yeah, I think I'm ready to lock in on that, dude. No more than 2 candy bars a day.
Oh my gosh. That's well, I would say that the experiment that we began last week with the help of the great artificial intelligence was a rousing success.
Oh, here we go.
As a result of what you're telling me now.
Yeah.
Because had you not purchased that as the alternative, I can assure you we would not be down to 2 Snickers bars on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Am I right?
You're probably right. I mean, that it was almost the mindset of it though. Like, these are here for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And how it was going to happen, I couldn't have predicted. I couldn't have said like, I'm going to eat this one first and then go to the candy bars when I really eat it. Like those candy bars are flying first,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like that's happening. And that's, part of my problem probably. But the fact is, like if I know at the end of it that it's going to be the protein bar afterwards, like that almost has a positive effect. Not saying that the protein bar is bad, but just like
there's something left.
Like, do you want this to be over? Are you rushing to get nothing. This? Right. So it really did. The mindset shifted more than I expected it to that way from those. And then I had to give some of the credit to filling my belly like intensely in the morning. Like, 4 chicken breasts, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a pretty.
I hate to pat myself on the back, which is why I'm about to do just that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's really hard for you. I have
many times throughout the past, 4 months, 5 months? Yeah, over 5 months, 5.5 months, I have tried to make it abundantly clear that protein and fat are going to be the key to accelerating this process. Because if you fill up your belly with protein and fat, and especially that protein, you're going to end up just not having enough room for nearly as many carbs. And you did just that. Like, this is the first time where you really said, I'm going to go and buy an abundance of protein, and then early in the day I'm going to have that. And you saw how it worked wonders because it really weighed you down,
It did.
not in a negative way.
Right.
It very positive, because the nutrients from the protein are used by the body for a lot of different processes outside of storing body fat, unlike carbohydrates, which their primary purpose is to provide energy and store body fat, and store energy as body fat. So whatever's not used is going to get stored, those carbohydrates. And so it kind of works against the whole routine that we've established here, which is to get your body fat down as low as possible, which means we need to release energy into the bloodstream from stored body fat. So we don't need carbohydrates. We need to get away from them as much as we can. And that will allow your body to tap into the fat stores as quickly as possible. It is easier said than done, but there are tricks that are being implemented here that make it easier than it otherwise would be. And one of those tricks is have a large amount of protein, especially early in the day, really, but any meal, but early in the day, because if you can cut off that hunger right from the beginning by having enough protein to be able to fill you up for hours and hours. So that way, when you get in the middle of the day, like you're doing this in the morning and you're 12, 1, 2 o'clock, and then your appetites start coming back, but it's not coming back at the level that it was before. Because if you had a light breakfast, if you didn't have enough protein, your appetite would roar back, and you'd be like, okay, all right, those 2 Snickers bars, that's not going to cut it today.
No.
It's going to, they're going to be gone. And then it's going to be like, hold on a minute, that hunger didn't go away. That hunger's still there. And it's the same as it was before I even started having any Snickers bars.
How do you even know this, man? I don't feel like you have these problems. How do you know that?
It's I've had my fair share of food in the Snickers bar realm, and I know how it works. I know how the desire for it is so strong going into it. If I have a cheat meal, I know what it feels like prior to. I know what it feels like during. I know what it feels like afterwards. And if I'm not filled up by the cheat meal, if the cheat meal is not enough to be able to squash the hunger, I'm ready for more. Why not? Why should the cheating end?
No doubt.
If my hunger's still there, it's just kind of make it silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I feel you justify. It's very easy to justify continuing what it is that you're doing if you haven't reached the point of satisfaction. And you can't reach the point of satisfaction unless your hunger is gone. It has to at least be gone, preferably full, because when you hit the full mark, that's when you're like, just doesn't, it's not very appetizing.
I don't need anything else. Yeah, now. I really don't want to eat anymore. That was the first time I went protein to that level, was this week.
That's that. But do you think, based on what you did, do you think this is something you could duplicate? Do you think, because like for me, I'll go out for my meal. I want to get protein. I'll go to Wendy's through the drive-through. You're getting excited now.
I am very, you got my interest.
I know. I could see it. I could see your ears perked up. You got undivided attention. No more ADHD for Jeff. He's like honed in on the screen. Wendy's. Okay. Was it the Frosty? Frosty. You got the triple. Yeah. No triple. I go through the drive-through. Could you please give me 4 burger patties? And that's it. It's just 4 burger patties. That's all. And then they kind of, you could tell they pause behind when on the register, like the speaker, I hear them pause because they don't know what I'm talking about. Like 4, wait, you mean with nothing else, right? Yes, just 4, the patties, quarter-pound patties, 4 of them, that's it. And then you hear another pause. You're like, my manager needs to ring this up because this has never happened. Like, they don't even know how much that would cost. They're so confused. And so they have to bring the manager in from, I don't know if they have to call them in from if they're on call, they have to come in from home and be able to, but I had to wait there for a while, and for them to have the managers come bring this up and then pause. And then finally I hear, okay, now you can approach. So then I went up to the window, and they charged me like $1.89 or $1.99, whatever each. So it's like an $8 or something, like $8 bill. but I get 4 burger patties and eat those, and I'm happy. Like they're delicious. I don't have to have anything on them. They're just great. Like I enjoy it. I could eat meat throughout the day like that, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't be, there is a craving that I have for it that it doesn't get old. It's not like, oh, it's not meat again. I need to have some. Like I could have that regularly, and it's not gonna. I'm not gonna react negatively in terms of my desire for it. I'm still gonna want it. If I have any hunger there, I will want it. I can focus my hunger in that direction. Does I know how Snickers bars. I know how you react to those. And I'm not suggesting that going through Wendy's and ordering 4 burger patties is going to be the equivalent of ordering 4 Snickers bars. But is it something you can get excited about to the point where it's a normal part of the routine and I can fill myself up on meat and I can have a good time doing it? Because you don't just have to have the chicken. You can have the burger patties too, which are higher in fat and tastier, et cetera. So you could go just a wide variety of directions with the meat. So that way you can make it exciting if it's something you think is sustainable.
I like the idea. The breakfast seems particularly important. Again, just to knock out at least a period of time during the middle of the day. That's really my challenge. So breakfast is important. And I don't know, I guess, I went and did the biscuit thing at one place, and it was, I get the sausage and egg, take the biscuit away. But like if I could get those things on a more reasonable budget, because I am doing this fairly regularly and it does add up. So like I was pleased that the chicken establishment would actually facilitate this to the point where I didn't have to bring the district manager out of his office, 100 miles away like the Wendy's is gonna do. Easier. So like literally I was able to pre-order through the app without
very nice.
When it was exclusive protein, I could just get the fillet of the chicken. So to have that ease, I guess, with it was helpful. I just push a couple buttons. Now I got it saved as my my favorite meal. I just plug it in, boom, it's going to be cooked the minute I drive through the drive-through. And just like that, I don't have to have even the awkward encounter, or the judgment that comes with, why aren't you eating bread, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that in my life. I don't need the least bit of resistance. If I have 1 ounce of negativity coming my way, I'll be like, you know what? Fine. Just give me the darn bread. And then by the time I get the bread, might as well just get the fries. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a disaster.
Well, let's be honest. You're still 325 pounds. So I think if you drive through, if you do the drive through and you're only ordering meat and they take one look at you, I mean, it's not an absurd question to ask. Like, why are you avoiding the bread? It's obvious you don't on any other occasion, So they're still in their minds, they're thinking like, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense, but they don't know where you started. They don't know that you started at 354. They have they don't know this journey that we're on together.
People need to stop thinking so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like just listen.
Or think more.
A man knows what he wants. So when he tells you what he wants, listen to what he says.
Just give it to him.
Don't ask questions, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Like I want four stacks of beef, then give me 4 stacks of beef, dude.
That's right.
Don't ask me I know what I want.
I'm a carnivore, damn it.
You're right.
It's that simple. I mean, do we have to go any further?
No. Leave me alone. I just want this, So
yes.
Anyway, this was easy. I will definitely commit to exploring through other establishments what app, if there's an option on the app to pre-order that way and just get protein without having to have the whole conversation.
Yes.
That would actually be a factor for me. Like I don't need to waste time dealing with somebody. I just want, boom, just hand me what I need to eat and then I'll eat it.
I think the apps many of them do have the ability to order bunless burgers, which that might include lettuce, but there might even be an option to delete the lettuce, but it would just be the burgers mainly would be there. So
I'm not afraid of the lettuce. That's fine.
Yeah, but it would be easy. Like you just do it on the app. So exactly the way that you want it. It may even be Wendy's. I just went through the drive-through, but they may have that as well. So you could just do this through the app, make it easy on yourself, no confrontation, no judgment, no wasted time, no having a debate whether we go with the fries or not. Just
I don't want to
yes.
talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't bring
I know
this.
it's hard. It's hard enough for you to do this as it like for me to have to go through a Wendy's menu and only pick the meat and skip over everything else that I would want on that menu, which is everything else. Yeah, I mean, that's only fair that you allow me to do it in the most painless way possible.
You're making me go through like a painful ordeal.
Yeah.
I don't need resistance, dude. I need support.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I know that I look like supporting me would be giving me fries and a shake and, the 2 buns, but I'm not asking for that, So just give me what I asked for.
I 100% agree. I think it should be unconstitutional to treat you any other way. That's how I look at it. So, but luckily, if you download enough of those apps, I think you will find that the majority of the locations will allow you to do that. Will allow you to order. I think you'll have success being able to customize that menu quite easily to be able to get what you want. And
that's an experiment
that would open up a lot of options for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll commit to that as an experiment this week and let you know.
I would love it.
What my findings are.
Well, yeah, because we're kind of at a crossroads here. I did make it abundantly clear some time back that I was getting very sick of seeing the 320s. we're solidly in the middle of that. Yeah. We're at the 325 mark. It's a foregone conclusion that we will set a new low next week. I'm not going to take anything less than that. After this conversation, after 2.3 pounds this week, no Super Bowl. I don't know if any other playoffs are over, right? Because we had the Super Bowl. We don't go backwards. So, okay. So everything, I know your morning.
I'll find something to get into.
Whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. It's time because you're going to potentially visit me a week earlier. So you could come and see me potentially the beginning of, let's be like a week, 7, 9, 8, 9 days from now. So I would love it if we could do something to be able to get that number as low as possible before you got here. I'm not, I'd love to challenge you to get it below 320, but I'd like to get it as close to 320 as possible before you arrive. I think the key to doing that is to have as much meat as you possibly can to satisfy as many meals as possible, and just see what you can do with the Snickers bars and the replacement for Snickers, so that ratio is good enough to be able to get ourselves a 3-pound result, maybe something good, something strong, strong finish going into the low 320s. Which I think is doable because you've proven already that if you can quell your appetite with protein, which you did this week, and you can do it early in the day, and you have a replacement for Snickers, so that way it's not just the Snickers bar waiting for you in the middle of the day. You got something else, and I'm going to have to rely on this after I'm done with the amount of Snickers bars that I've chosen to consume. That you're going to be in good shape for being able to produce some good results. So I think you could have it with that in mind. I think you have the capacity, despite your fluctuating schedule now, to have a good week going into your visit. Now, you tell me, because I'm the one doing the talking and I'm not the one doing the eating. You tell me, how confident are you going into the next week based on what I've just described to you? Do you think you can execute? Do you have any doubts? If so, share them with me right now.
Well, the doubts come up around Tuesday and Wednesday when, maybe even Monday, like it's far enough away from the weigh-in. The weigh-in's not impending tomorrow.
Right.
And, I'm kind of feeling tempted to enjoy myself a little bit. And that's when when this stuff occurs to me, and I have to make the decision. So, but I mean, like, as we talk right now, this totally makes sense. I'm not going to lie. It does. Like, the strategy of it. I like the strategy of it. I think we're still honing things, and figuring out what's going to work, what's going to actually help. And I think we did make some progress that way this week. So there's no reason not to really try to focus on the protein and more consistently through the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could be a variety of protein sources, make it fun, make it interesting, but know that it fills you up every time. It's just, there's no two ways about it. Like, you have enough protein, you will not want to eat for a while. Takes up your body a while to digest it, to break it down, slows the digestion process. Your hunger is just shut down for that period of time if you eat enough of it. And it's not going to do you anything negative when it comes to the diet. So when you're eating a large amount of protein and you're figuring, it's a large amount of food. Is there anything negative as far as what I'm trying to achieve here? No. Okay. Because I know what we know what the alternative is. And the alternative is 58 grams of carbs per Snickers bar. You've consumed 4 in a day. That's 200 and plus grams of carbs there in one meal. So that is definitely going to sabotage everything that you're working for that day. So this is the reason why, if you shift as much of the focus from that to the protein as you can, or as you're willing, that's going to make a huge difference. One, in controlling appetite, and appetite control is going to be of prime importance. And number two, in giving the body the nutrients it needs to keep the fat burning process going in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm more sold than I have been the whole time, probably, on the amount I can kick appetite's butt in the morning by just eating what probably seems like an unnecessary amount of protein in the morning. Like, I got to find ways to mix it up and have fun with it, but that's not the time to be shy with quantity at all. I need to be like full. When I'm done eating, I need to know, like, I'm done. I don't want to eat for another 3 hours minimum. I don't want a thing. And that I finally reached that level this week in the morning.
That's it. So, that's the key, man. If you could duplicate that on a daily basis, when it comes to meat or eggs or anything that's no carb, that's high protein, it's going to just make a world of difference in how the rest of the day goes. And when the hunger strikes, you have the opportunity later in the day to make a choice. If you have the option of consuming more protein to be able to satisfy some of that hunger and cut down on the carbs that you would consume otherwise, you could do that as well. I'm trying to, as gently as possible, push those Snickers bars right out of your pocket into the trash can for like a week to see what we can achieve. That's not going to happen. I understand. That's the ultimate sacrifice, because I know if they stay, we can still lose weight. So I have no leverage. None whatsoever. If you had walked in here with another weight gain, or just it was an even week, we'd say, okay, well, we got to work on this a little bit more. And the Snickers bars are staring me right in the face. And they're obviously, look at the number, but the number is 2.3 pounds down. You're consuming Snickers. Well, how can I argue with that? I'm trying to get you below 320 before you get here. And I know that that's like asking a lot. And I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. So that's the reason why I'm just trying to get you as close to 320 as possible. And I'm seeing what can be done without making you feel like it's the worst week of your entire life to get that done. And it might be we keep the 2 Snickers bars in, we eat as much protein as we can, and we just see where the cards stack themselves in a week.
I think I want to approach this as a 2-week goal right now.
Okay.
Less than just a specific week of whatever, get as low as you can. I think if I look at this as this 2 weeks, my mission is to get it under 320. By that second weigh in, I'm going to be there. Like, my mind has got to be locked in for that 2 weeks that I'm going to be done with the 320s on that day. And like,
well, there's only one reason that I have to step in here. I know I don't want to interfere with this goal at all.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be the last thing that I should be doing. But I need to remind you that at least your tentative plan was to visit me potentially a week early, which would put that second week that you just said would be the 2-week goal of getting under 320. That would put you with me during that week.
During that time, yeah.
So that may be the impossible dream. I mean, unless you're doing something that I never thought possible when we were together. Now, we can just erase that week from existence, and knowing that probably nothing's going to happen. For the viewers here, just wondering how is it you're going to see me and all hell breaks loose. Yeah, pretty much. Like we don't see each other enough to be able to get together and get excited about dieting. That's just not, that's a cardinal sin when it comes to him, especially, but even when it comes to me, I don't know that would be possible. So whatever next week brings, hope as close to 320 as possible. And then if you show up here the following week, we're not going to be weighing probably for another week. We're going to skip a weigh-in.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And then that weigh-in, who knows? That would be incredible if that next weigh-in you could be under 320.
Okay. Let's see how the timing works out, because maybe I can make the week or visit another week later instead, and then who knows? I'll keep you informed, obviously, of what happens with the schedule, but I will be dialed in this week.
Yeah, that's all I need. It's week to week. Yeah. I'm just trying to set mini goals here because I want 320s. I want them gone. I want them. I never want to see him again. Let me be honest here. I never want to see him again, because I see on my screen right now, week 12, you were 328.3. I see 328.3, 327.2. Then you didn't weigh for 2 weeks because of the holidays. And then you had the seizure, and then it was 326.2, 327.9. Then it was the 332 when you had gained. Then 328, 324, 327, 325. So there's a lot of 320s going on here.
You're right.
And we're going back to week 13 or week 12 when you were 328.3. That's when you finally hit the 320s. On week 12, and we're at week 22 at 325. So
yikes. Yeah.
So
now I'm with you.
It's definitely time to get rid of the 320s.
I didn't realize it had been that long.
I'm not suggesting it's going to happen in a week, but I'm saying it needs to be that needs to be your mission to get yourself out of the 320s forever. So that way we have, and there'll be a huge celebration, because that's like a totally different feeling when you're edging in on the low 300s, getting in that low end of the 300s, because then you know what's next.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think in some sick, twisted way, 320s were at one point the invincible goal. You know what I'm saying? That was unapproachable, and now I got it. And maybe I have, maybe I've been slacking too much. I need to get more focused.
Just to put more context into this, you had the New Year's and the seizure, and then the weight gain, and the weight gain weeks worked against you, because you had 3 weight gain weeks. You had a 1.7, a 4.6, and a 3.1 weight gain weeks. Those were the 3 weeks of weight gain, and then you recollected yourself now, and you dropped the 2.3, and so you're back on track. But when you combine those weight gain weeks with the weeks where we didn't weigh because of New Year's and the seizure that you had experienced, there's just a lot that was happening during that time. And then the seizure is really kind of what precipitated the weight gain, because of threw you off your game. And then you started to just sort of drift away there for a couple weeks, but you recollected yourself. So the fact that you're 325 now, you're almost at the lowest. 324.2 was the lowest. That you're at 325 now is good news. It's all things considered, you could easily be 335. It could have easily continued to escalate.
I agree. This was an important week, dude, and to see that I'm that within striking distance of setting the new record at this point, that's good. That's a win. So but you're right.
Next
320s need to go.
The next week setting a record is a huge win, because that's a record, and any records any record is a huge win given what we're trying to accomplish, because it means you're closer than ever on this journey to your goal.
Yeah.
So I love every second of it when you send me a figure that's lower than the week prior. And I think with the strategy that we talked about, which is like filling up on that protein, like it's your mission.
Yeah.
And trying to get creative with alternatives to protein alternatives that you can consume that can give you the variety that you like. And then also do some continued investigation as to the Snicker bar complements. I didn't use the term alternative. You notice that? I was about to, and I stopped myself. I was so close. But I knew you were going to chastise me again.
Yeah, that word, we have to be careful with our wording, but I mean, I would have not told you that I believed where this got me last week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it really was more effective. Maybe not the way I necessarily envisioned it working, but it was more effective than I would have expected ever. And to the point where I did bring another trial.
Oh, well, what's
today.
this? Show me.
This is the Quest line of bars, and it's peppermint bark.
I have consumed, I believe, the Quest bars multiple times. In fact, and Sheets, I believe that's the one I would always go to when over the past few years, whenever I got a protein bar. I think it was that same line, not that flavor.
Yeah,
I think it was chocolate chip cookie dough and cookies and cream, I think, were the two that I got. And I was happy with chocolate chip I was happy with both of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten them. But I consistently got chocolate chip cookie dough and cookies and cream. Okay. And I thought they were both excellent. I think of the two, I think the chocolate chip cookie dough would have been my favorite of the two.
Wow.
But I want a variety. I didn't get two of the same ones. I'm not the four chocolate chip cookie dough variety. I have to go with a little bit of variety. So even if we're just to mix things up, even in one meal, I do enjoy that if I can get away with it. As long as they're not, if one's just incredibly, superior to the other, then forget about it. Then I'm getting two of those. But I think that they very good. Like for me, for my taste, and that we're in a different category when it comes to candy bar analysis, but I like them a lot. So I'm curious now, without having given you any, and this was no data that I've given you. I didn't steer you towards this brand. You came independent. This was an independent investigation on your part. And this is what's in the flavor again?
Peppermint bark. So it's a seasonal flavor, it says.
I see.
So
all right.
Okay, so
all right.
Yeah, peppermint bark. It's like this is like one of my favorite holiday treats, honestly. When you get like, it's like the peppermint, the white chocolate, the regular chocolate. It's like all combined.
Bark?
Yeah.
I mean, is there something other than that bar that's called peppermint bark?
You got like that. Yeah, there really is, dude. You have to look at it. It's like white chocolate. It's got like two different types of chocolate. It's got peppermint. Like, this shows little bits of candy cane on it. I don't know if you could tell, but
yeah,
I'm very intrigued because this is like one of my holiday treats right here. And if it actually even resembles on any level without making me want to puke, I'm going to be thrilled, at this point. So, and the other thing
the
other thing that's encouraging is I think last week my net carbs for the mint bars were 2 grams, right?
Yes.
This one is 4 net carbs. So, it sounds like nothing on my normal scale of life, but if I'm doubling the carb, imagine what that's going to do to the flavor.
If it's double the flavor,
we
could be approaching possibly Snickers bar alternative. I mean, with if we double the flavor of the other one, I think we're in.
Maybe I'm rationalizing too much. I think I just have to jump in like I did last
You're
week.
setting the bar really high, and I don't like that one bit. but I do like the suspense that you put me through. That's the look of it. All right, how's it look to you? Does it look like
it
appealing
looks
from
peppermint barky? Yeah.
How about wait? Smell it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it smell? Do you think
it's definitely different? That it's not quite the same as like you could tell. There's something just not quite there when it comes to the competitor of the regular sugary bark, but this still it smells worth trying.
It's got protein. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah,
and it's got 4 net carbs. So how does it smell compared to the other bar? You like this?
I have to do a side by side, but this one feels more substantial in like the firmness of it.
That's
so
good.
I think that could be like it's more of a like bite into it type thing instead of like it just dissolves with your chews. Like
I know what you mean. Oh my gosh,
this might be the texture that is helpful.
Oh, this is great. This is so far you have built this up to the point where I'm considering 315 for next week, because those things you're only going to be consuming those and beef patties for the next 7 days. Okay.
I think you're jumping a little bit too far.
All right.
But let's try this.
You built it up quite a bit. Okay, go ahead. Let's do this.
I've never had it, so I mean, I don't know.
I know. We're going to find out right now. I could be passing
these things out to people like on the street.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right. Okay, let's give this a shot. It's I'm praying. Please, let's give us some success here. Please let Jeff have a big grin on his face. All right, wait a minute. I detect possibly good news, maybe partially. He's got a neutral look. It's going positive. It's going. I think it's.
I brought some water.
Wait, I didn't like that look. I didn't like that. Now he's washing it down. He's got to get the taste out of his mouth.
I knew that I was going to need some hydration handy after last week.
Yeah. Are you washing it down? How many carbs are in that drink that you're washing it down with?
I don't know if you can see the bite. It actually like is more substantial than the other one.
Yes.
It's like more like one solid bar as opposed to like
right.
So that's kind of a plus. The flavor's not bad. It's not bad. Like I'll eat this. It's not like it's kind of like the other one. I'll eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm not like suffering, but like I'm also not rushing for the next bite. You know what I'm saying? Like so. But if I can get a variety of these, I wonder if one day I might aspire to cutting down to like 1 Snickers bar a day instead of 2. Because like if I just burn through that, then I realize like I'm going to be doing this, and I'm not trying to throw shade on this, but it's not the Snickers bar.
Yeah.
But yet it is substantial. It'll fill me up. It's not vomitous.
The flavor is. I'm trying to come up with a word that would possibly encapsulate this the best way. Acceptable. Right? Is that where we're at with how it tastes?
Yeah, that's a good word to use.
Okay. All right.
But people need to know, like,
hoping for more.
Even though I look like I'm not picky, I'm very picky. They don't understand how picky I am.
I understand. I know that better than anybody. That's the reason why these experiments are, to me, are so exciting, because if you could find something that really makes you grin from ear to ear,
I know, dude,
it would just be the biggest find ever for anybody that's looking to shift away from candy bars towards something that is going to be very advantageous towards their weight loss pursuits. And that's why this search must continue. This doesn't mean that you found a couple that you can work with. I want to find something that just blows your socks off.
I agree. I mean, it's ironic that the name is quest. You know, like I feel like now I'm on a quest.
Yeah.
For finding the most desirable version of a protein bar.
Yes. With minimal carbs.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, really, when you're comparing it to
58 grams,
right? Like I've got a little wiggle room here, dude. Don't you think? Like
you do.
I should be able to find some. I mean, like, what if I triple the flavor and went to 6 or 12 carbs? I mean, what would that taste like, dude? I mean, maybe I'll fall in love.
If you fall in love with 12 grams of carbs, then
that's a win.
I consider that the biggest win of a lifetime. Like I couldn't ask for anything better than that. So I'd be all for it. I think it's possible. That's why I don't. There's so many of them out there that I do think that there's something. There's even if it's just one that you can get so excited about, because I noticed that you go back to the Snickers bars over and over and over again, which means that you're the type of person who could consume something he likes over and over and over again. It's not like we have the Snickers on Monday, the whatchamacallit on Tuesday.
Well, you know, I do mix it up a little bit, Wednesday. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's like the perennial go-to. And
yeah, so I think there are a couple of them that you can find that you like a lot. That could become the new staple of your week. You know, where you're occasionally having one of the other ones, of the Snickers bars, but you're consuming these on a daily basis.
Yeah,
like that's what's holding you down. Now, I'm not saying the one you have now, but if we continue to do the experiments and you find something that's like, wow, like this really, if I didn't know this had 12 grams of carbs or 8 grams of carbs, or 15 grams of carbs, I would think it was, 50 grams of, like it tastes that good. Like it
I know. I wonder,
really good.
Am I doing myself harm by looking at the net carbs beforehand?
I don't. I think you're probably. I'd hate to think that you are. I mean, I think if you tasted something you really liked, I think you would overlook. I think you get as excited as I would, because if the taste would really your face would light up. It's like, I can't believe it tastes this good and has this low carb. Like it's what I've been looking for. Like I could actually have this. I could actually consume this and still lose weight consistently. And it's like a dream come true. I think you're looking for the same thing I'm looking for. I just think you haven't found it yet. That's all.
Yeah.
So I think if you didn't have the attraction that you do towards the high carb candy bars, it would be a lot easier for you to get excited about what it is that you just consumed or the other one.
Yeah.
Because and maybe, my standards are a lot lower than yours, as you can probably imagine, because I'm not consuming Snickers bars or whatchamacallits or Twix. I'm consuming these.
Not till I get there.
Those. Like, so I go into a store and I get a chocolate chip cookie dough protein bar, and I'm tasting what to me amounts to something that reminds me of chocolate chip cookie dough. And I'm excited about that because I'm getting some protein out of it. It's not high carb, but still tastes good to me. And it tastes like a treat. So I'm all excited about that. But then again, I'm not having Snickers bars every day and replacing it with that. So there's no substitution. So my standard is so much different than yours. So that's the reason why your journey and your search and your quest is going to be a lot more difficult than it would be if I was on the mission trying to find replacements. Because for me, like if you get a moderately good tasting one, for me, that to me, it's like, wow, like I could deal with this. Like this gets me excited. For you, it's got to be something that's just out of this world in that realm.
I have a crazy idea. I don't know if I could see this through, but you might be able to enforce it. And it might not even appeal to you.
Well, just lay it on me, because if it's crazy, it's something I'm probably willing to sign up on.
Yeah, I was going to say, neither one of us is afraid to think outside the box.
No.
What if it was like, a visit with you in roughly 10 days? And what if I went cold turkey from the Snickers in your presence? Like, on some level, you could help me not do the Snickers. You know what I'm saying? Not rely on that. and actually behave myself while I'm with you instead of going just balls to the wall, stupid, like I like to
I
do with
have
you.
noticed, and now that you brought it up, I have noticed that since we've spent extended periods together over the past year, where it's been 2 or 3 visits that are spanning a week, I had noticed, and now that you brought it up, that you had stopped into gas stations and got yourself the Snickers bars, the candy bars, went through that aisle, and so to be with me for an extended period again and not do that would be a huge achievement, because you've even done it on vacation with me where you've gone through, and I really didn't process it at the time because we weren't on this journey yet. So this was before this all started 5 months ago. So now that you brought it up, yes, that would be an absolute accomplishment and achievement if you can, in my presence, if you don't have any Snickers bars, and even if we do some experiments along the way with alternatives that we could potentially find that would be more conducive towards what we're trying to achieve, when the
I mean,
craving hits.
it's it hurts to think like what times we would miss. You know what I mean, for that one visit, because I can find you all kinds of stupidity to get into, but if I just suck it up for one visit, I'm
Mhm.
wondering if we can make that visit so productive that it accelerates my progress moving forward.
Now, are you talking about just candy bars, or are you
Mm-mm.
talking about going hardcore on the diet?
I'm
Is
saying
this
like,
just get me away from the candy bars for that period of time? Like, I'm not going to rely on that as my crutch. Um,
yeah, I think that is a minimum, and
yeah,
then
okay,
maybe just like smarter decision making when it comes to
sure. We'll
our
do that.
regular meals. I mean,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
we don't have to go hardcore that week. We could do just what you described, which is we could focus on candy bar to the side, and we
heavy
can try
protein
and
breakfast.
construct meals that are more protein based, still enjoyable. And if we have our carbs, we judiciously use them for special meals, as opposed to every day is going to be a carb filled extravaganza from start to finish.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think it would
we
be a fun experiment to see if we can balance the two on a trip, like on a time where it would just be no holds barred, anything goes. If we could take that time and be able to hone in on something that we can still enjoy, but doesn't cause damage, and maybe even makes progress. Certainly, moving things in the right direction on a trip like that is you don't go back having gained a
right.
significant amount of weight, if any.
Yeah,
If that happens, that's a huge success on a trip where normally it would just be anything goes. So if you least achieve that, then it's a home run.
I think like some of the Snickers has become mental. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think so
just
too.
it's a
For sure,
crutch.
it is.
So like
It is.
if I can go cold turkey with your support, just
Yeah.
getting me through it, I think that's
All right.
probably the most conducive place for that to ever have a chance of occurring.
I
So
think you're right.
maybe I should really focus on that, you know, um, with you.
Well, then that's what we'll do. I love that idea. I think that that's an excellent. But when you talk about trying to achieve something, having a plan ahead of time, knowing that you're going to go on vacation and probably going to come back fatter than when you left, because of the fact that um, a lot of celebration takes place when we're together. So if we can actually turn that into something productive as well, in the realm of getting you away from the Snickers for a week and experimenting with alternatives and things that we can do to be able to satisfy our appetites that doesn't involve that, and moves more towards a protein based diet, that's like just a winner of a trip all the way around. I think it's worth doing. Yeah.
It's hard, it's bittersweet, man. But I think that's the right move.
Man, I'm so proud of you. honestly, for even suggesting that, because I didn't have trust me, I didn't have the guts to even bring it up. Like if I just mentioned in passing, taking those Snickers bars and casting them aside as something that would be awesome to see for a week. And then now you're suggesting we do this when you're with me. That's just incredible. Incredible that you even have the will to give it a shot.
I don't
Because
know
we're
that
talking
I
about
quite do. It's actually just floating around in my brain. But I think that
well,
you can help me impose the will. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
nobody else
yeah.
can.
Yeah,
So
together, I think we can pull that off. And it does not mean that we're just going to say no Snickers bars and it's just going to be 100% hardcore the entire time. No, we're going to try to organize it so we can have a good time without causing damage.
yeah,
I mean, it would be
yep,
great to be able to actually say, like, yeah, my body has the ability to absorb a good amount of food and not gain weight if it's the right kind of food. Like, if I don't make really foolish decisions, I can go on vacation for a week and I can come back and I can weigh the same as when I left. Like,
yeah,
I don't have to gain weight. It's not a prerequisite to have fun to say that I have to leave and come back and weigh more than I did before I left. You definitely can make better choices to be able to think about it. You're on so many weeks over the past 5 months. You've said not even hard. I'm still having a good
yep,
time. I'm still enjoying
yeah,
my meals, and you were losing weight. So,
yep,
I mean, if the standard is, I'm just not going to gain any weight. I'm not expecting to lose weight,
yeah.
but if I don't do any damage, that would be fantastic
That's
on a trip like that.
yeah,
That's like life changing because then you've gone away, enjoyed yourself, come home, and you're where you are weigh you when you weigh yourself, you're going to be the same as before you left, which is a huge achievement in the
yeah. I got
grand
to get
scheme
out of
of
these
this whole
320s,
process.
man. I got to get out of these 320s. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
All right, man. All right, it's your idea. That's the one thing I will say that I'm pleasantly surprised. Let me put it that way. Very pleasantly surprised that you would even suggest such a thing. And I think it's going to put a new spin on this trip that I think we can have some fun with and see what we can accomplish. It's great that we have statistics. We always have numbers that we can point to and we can look
Absolutely,
at and we can see how things go.
those are
And
helpful.
it's yeah, and it's a fun look. It's a fun experiment, and this needs to be fun because we're trying to make it a lifestyle, and we know vacations are part of a lifestyle, and um, goals are also part of a lifestyle, and you want to try and mix having fun with achieving your goals and seeing if the two can mesh. And they have the majority of this journey. They have, like, you've done an incredible job at being able to say, I'm keeping some of the foods in that I like, making better choices for other meals, and overall it's balancing out with a pound or two lost a week average, and that's great news. I mean, that's going in the right direction consistently. That's what we're after. So this will be great on a vacation because it's never been done. It's not like we've gotten together and ever we're cognizant of that as a goal ever. That's never, let
Never.
me just make that perfectly clear to everybody. We have never been together in the same place at the same time. And while we were together, weight loss has been the goal.
Right.
Or not doing damage has been the
Not
goal.
even.
None of
Yeah.
those goals have ever taken place when we're together. Where we've
No.
moderated eating to achieve that. Only periods of extreme of, of extreme distress where Jeff wanted to lose like 20 pounds in 20 days. And I put him on a plan, and then it lasts a couple days, and then he's ready to order 3 pizzas, and just getting everyone on my family to turn on me to try and convince me to break the pattern of the diet. So, and then I give up, and then I'm like, nobody's on my side, so forget about it, including Jeff. So I figure, yes, this is the first time where there's a concerted effort where to moderate the diet and make it successful on a vacation, especially when the two of us are together. That's unheard of.
Yeah, and it's just the whole thing being a constant new experiment is helpful in keeping this fresh.
It is. I agree.
Like I'm not getting bored that way. It's just like it's exciting to see. Okay, what does this do if I go heavy on the breakfast protein now? What is that doing? Just and like your data analysis, you're always telling me things that are kind of like earth shattering and mind blowing. Like, I'm realizing how much I'm slowing myself down right now than, compared to what it was at the beginning. And so if I didn't have the benefit of you bringing that to me, I would, I would just be aimlessly going through this. So I'm blessed and appreciate all you're doing. I mean, even to this level, but yeah, just I think it's important. I need to have fun. I need to have fun, and if I'm gonna sacrifice any level of fun in the flavor department, then I need to compensate in other ways. And I think just bonding with somebody who cares about my weight loss, and also, just trying new things, trying these protein bars, trying different habits, and figuring out what my weak spots are, and trying to figure out how I'm going to attack that in different ways. All these things, eventually, we're going to get to like the perfect setup, and it's going to just. I feel like we're just going to get to the perfect thing, and it's going to be rolling.
I couldn't agree more. We're honing in a lifestyle week by week. And so far, it's been a rousing success. You're 29.6 pounds down from the time we started this, from week 1 till now, 29.6. So it's an incredible amount of weight that you've burned, from a lifelong emotional eater. And you're at 325 now. And when the road to below 300 begins, because now you are over halfway from the time you started at 354. You're over halfway to the goal of under 300. The first goal, the first big goal. That's the first huge milestone.
It is
being under 300, and you're over halfway there. So it's a tremendous achievement to have lost as much weight as you have. There's some sacrifice involved. There's a lot of experimentation, but ultimately every single week you're doing what you have to do to make things happen. 3 weeks of weight gain in 22 weeks and on this plan. So that's incredible for you to be able to achieve so much success, so much consistency. And it just shows how you've applied yourself and tried to make the most out of each week. And that's what we're doing. We're making this, that's becoming part of your life. The more often you do this, the greater the chance that you're going to continue doing this going forward, because you're building new habits. You're building a habit that you weigh yourself at the end of the week. You're building a habit that you watch what you eat in the days prior to the weigh-in. You're building a habit that the weekend can't be no holds barred, just complete anarchy, where I could potentially just completely blow the number out of the water in the next week because I ate so much on the weekend that I can't counteract it during the week. So you're being very mindful of these factors as you go into each week, and it's doing an incredible job at bringing your weight down week by week gradually. And that's what the goal is, and that's the reason why I'm so proud of you for doing this consistently, because this is nothing. You can't call this a crash diet plan where you're getting on something that you know is going to ultimately fail because it was so extreme and you'll never be able to stay on it. You're doing something week by week by week by week that you can stick to, something that you can stay with as maintenance when it gets down to that point where, because you're building the skills and you're building the perseverance that's necessary to be able to do something that is sustainable. And without that, I mean, ultimately, you're just going to yo-yo your way right back up. And that's always what happens with crash diet plans, is you end up fatter than you were before in the end.
The one thing that I think, I've maybe mentioned it before, but that really just stands out to me is the habit that you've helped me kill, that for a lifetime, I've just been having a habit of, after a day of work, going through a drive-through impulsively and just stuffing my face, and that's done. I'm done with that. Like, I can firmly say that's over. Like, that is by itself huge. I mean, like, that was compounding the problem over and over again, and just putting me on a path to real problem. So not only are we counteracting that, it's just I'm not doing that level of stupidity where it's just completely impulsive. and out of control on that extreme. So I'm grateful for that, because I feel like that is already a mindset, and I'm never going back. Never going back. I've lived this long enough that I know I don't need that.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because um, I have no doubt whatsoever that as you continue that trend, which you would have if we didn't start this plan, you would have still been eating the fast food every single day, going through
Yeah.
the drive-throughs for dinner. That was your stress relief mechanism. I can look forward to that. I can have candy bars at work, and then after work, I can get my fattening meal for through the drive-through, and I can look forward to that. And that's going to be the way I end the day. You continue to do that going forward, which you would have. You would have eventually hit 400 pounds. There's no doubt that you would have gotten your weight. I mean, that's trajectory that you were headed. Inevitably, you would have ended up continuing to grow and grow and grow. Thankfully, you capped out at 354 before we 354.6 before we started, and now you're at 325. And it's just a life-saving endeavor that we're on here, because there's no reason why your body would have stopped piling on body fat if you would have continued those habits. It's inevitable. I mean, you had to hit the 354.6 was an all-time high. You had never been bigger than that. You had been in the past number of years, you had rested anywhere, you were in the 350 but 340s. You were in the 340s for quite some time, sometimes in the 330s, but that's usually the 330 to 350 range in there. But you were edging up from 330s to 340s, 350s. And so when we caught you, you were at your all-time high, and now you haven't been in the 320s in ages, but you are now. So that's the testimony to what you've done. And like you said, just cutting out those fast food meals to end the day is making a world of difference in and of itself, because that opened up a whole new pathway for you to be able to introduce something different to take its place. And as you can see, I mean, that's been one of the big factors in getting your weight down consistently, is having that habit that's no longer a part of your life. And that there's no way that you've been able to achieve success if you would have had to continuously struggle with that each and every day. So being able to move away from that was probably the biggest factor in consistency, is making that dinner just totally different than what it was. Yeah. And now you've done so on a regular basis.
Yeah, I used to think that was necessary, and now I completely see that it's just not. And even like dinner at this point, for the most part, I can go all protein if I need to. So, yeah, I mean, it's a completely different mindset, and that's never going to change. I've got so much conviction, and I've had experience enough now where it's been different. I've been able to do it for so long. It's good.
That's awesome.
If I stopped now, that would still hold. And so, but I'm not stopping now. Don't worry. I know that freaks you out when I say that.
Yeah, I'd say take that back, please, before we leave. We're not ending on that note.
No, I like where we're at. I think, I think somehow more and more that it might be the good idea to just work on going cold turkey off the Snickers bars in your presence. I think I need you to help me with that.
Well, we're gonna do it. That's all I need is the green light from you, because that's the most difficult thing for me to get when it comes to anything like this. When it's such a drastic change, and I'm taking away the only thing you live for. It's the fact that it's your idea makes me very confident that we'll be able to pull it off, the two of us together. So I'm all for it. It's definitely the totally unexpected way to end this week, and something I'm looking forward to. At least I am. I don't know about you, but it's going to be an interesting experiment, because we're doing it together. The two of us are going to be looking for ways to make it work as a team, and that in and of itself is exciting.
It is. Friday afternoons are usually fun,
Yes.
So I'm glad this was a good one. And I hope that next one is going to be equally as good, if not better.
Why I say the next one, to be able to meet that standard, we're going to be at an all-time low for this weight loss trend that we're on here over the last 5.5 months, because 325 is where you're at now. 2 weeks ago, you were at 324.2 before a 3.1 pound weight gain Super Bowl week. And so that means you got to lose a pound to be able to get to an all-time low. And I think I'm putting money on success.
I like
I'm
it.
thinking we're ending this strong. I think you got the right attitude. I think I could see it in your eyes. The fact that you actually suggested we get together and work on Snickers bars is something that I never thought I would live to see. So,
well, I mean, I could have said work on Snickers bars, but it would have had a different connotation.
Yeah, completely different. That I could see. That I could see. And I said that I could still see. So
we could work on Oreos too.
We could turn the tables. Look, the trip hasn't happened yet. Okay, so we don't, until it's over. Or let's not, no predictions as to how that's going to end up. But at least you have the right mindset going in, which I never expected for you to even propose or suggest that would be a remote possibility. Yeah. So you even surprised yourself. But because of this positive attitude and the big smile on your face, I think next week, we're going to be seeing a new low, and I'm just thrilled, man. I'm thrilled to be on this journey with you, and I am just so happy and proud of everything you've achieved. And I am looking forward to your visit more than anything. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be experiment central. Yeah. It's going to be here in my humble abode with lots of treats that we'll come up with to see if what alternatives we can produce to get this weight down even faster. But it'll be fun, man. And that's ultimately the thing with us. We're making this as enjoyable as possible, so that way we can get to the finish line and make it feel like it's part of life. And when it's part of life, then it's something that's going to consistently continue. And then the weight will, once it's down to where we want it to be, that'll be it, man. It'll be gone forever.
Yeah.
You'll never be back again to see these numbers. And you've been a lifelong yo-yoer, emotional eater. It's just been all over the place, but it's been trending up for quite some time now, for years, past 15, 20 years. And we're putting a stop to it, man. Now we're headed down, and we're gonna get there as a team. So I'm excited for each and every week, and just thank you for all the effort you're putting forth. I think it's really inspirational to me, knowing what you're overcoming and knowing what I've seen you do over the past 30 years. I know what you're capable of. I know you've been through. I know what you've struggled with. So seeing this type of success is just so gratifying to me. And I know that it couldn't happen without the effort that you're putting forth each and every week. So I give you all the credit in the world for doing what's necessary. I really do, because I know it's coming from the heart. I know it's something that it's become a passion for you every week to see what you can achieve and how you can deal with the struggles that you have with food. And you're just doing an incredible job of it. So congratulations.
Thank you. I hope to keep that praise coming. Then you are undoubtedly playing a huge role in all of this. This doesn't happen without your support. So I'm blessed, man. I consider myself blessed. You're adding years to my life. You really are. I appreciate
That's what I want to do. That's the biggest gift that I could ever give you and that you could ever give me. That's the way I look at it. So I love you, man. And 1 week from today,
new low, baby. New low.
I'm looking at a new low. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Love you, man. I love you, brother. See
Take
you next
care.
week. Well, I figure, yes, this is the first time where there's a concerted effort where to moderate the diet and make it successful on a vacation, especially when the two of us are together. That's unheard of. Brother, are you there? I lost you. I think I lost you. You're frozen. I don't see any changes in your facial expression whatsoever. Come back. Please come back. Oh,
Sorry for the technical difficulty.
you were saying something when you left. I have no idea what it was.
I'm pretty sure it was going to be profound too, and it's gone. It's all the way gone.